Here's one. The myth is polyurethane foam is unstable. It shrinks. Well, there's a reason for that. It's a little complicated, but let's go through it. Foam is not really unstable. Here's what happens. Again, we recall that when we make foam, it creates heat. It's what they call an exothermic reaction. It creates heat, which boils that blowing agent, and we capture it in our foam cells. That's great. That's how you make spray foam. And we do all that between 3 and 5 seconds. Wow. It's a lot of work being done, a lot of energy, a lot of heat between 3 and 5 seconds. So if we take that heat and we cool it, remember we talked about this in the R value discussion, the blowing agent discussion. We heat to create, and over time we cool. As things cool, they contract. As they contract, they're making stress. They're creating stress. It's getting tight, right? So what we expect foam to do is stay adhered to the framing members. To anything we spray it on, it's going to stay stuck. And that's what happens with foam when it's properly made. When the substrate is below 19% relative humidity or moisture content. That's what happens. The stresses that are built up in our foam as it cools, they're just not enough to break the adhesion bond between the foam and the substrate. They're there, but they're not enough to pull that foam off that substrate. It's stuck better than those stresses. If you've seen or think that there's a potential for a crack to be in the middle of the stud bay, again, there's something wrong. And I've seen these cracks. As foam cools down, the adhesion of the framing members in the foam is great and it withstands that cooling shrink stress. But all of a sudden they'll get a crack in the middle of that stud bay. There's something wrong there. Typically we've thermal shocked. The foam has gotten too cool too quick, and it's caused that stress to be higher than the internal tensile strength of the foam itself, and it cracks in the middle of the stud. We're not saying that foam is not stable, because it is. The expectation is that the stresses created by cooling are not enough to create disbonding. They're not enough to pull that foam off the substrate, to break the adhesion. It's not enough to cause the foam to crack in the middle of the stud. If it is, there's something wrong originally with your level of adhesion to the substrate, or there's some other factor that have caused that center ice or mid-span crack to appear. But foam is a stable product.
To help you understand a little bit more about spray foam and to help you integrate it into your operation, I've created educational courses on my website at letstalkpur.com, or you can click on the link in the video description. I encourage you to check them out. I'll see you there.